like tribute to like being a Mobile because it can be a drain sometimes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like you want it to be successful. Like you know, there's something here. This place. If people would like find their philanthropic side
Hmm.
and just invest in Mobile, then this could be the next hub to explode with entertainment, music,
Yeah.
and it's
It's
just
a lot of talent here, man.
yeah,
A lot of
yeah,
talent.
man,
I've been saying that.
Yeah,
yeah,
it is.
Definitely agree.
yeah, man, and you know, so I do, you know, kudos to you, and I
Thank you,
appreciate
Sergio.
that, man, and I don't know if we're running, but. Oh, okay, cool. Well, we're recording, man. But I do, regardless of anything, man. I think, thank you for producing and directing and making it happen. And I know there was a lot of people involved and stuff like that, but you know, for making it happen in general, fucking awesome.
Thank
you know?
you. Thank
So,
you.
feeling, man. We're gonna dive into it too with both of y'all,
Okay.
and just kind of again like we were talking about before, just get into understanding like how you got to the point of, you know, helping where you went to in teen mentorship, what that looked like, and then Meech, of course, like you know how what the story of evolution looked like for the 251 and how it got to where it is now,
Okay.
and yeah, cool.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
But so now we're just gonna sit here, looking at. Yes. Oh, this way?
Watch where your hands are too when you're speaking to them. Why it blocks your face.
You can aim like the mic to you. Like that? Does that work better? A little more this way? Okay. I feel like we could totally make a silent movie just being up here, where we're just like conversing with each other, and it's just like the ridiculous things that would be put up as dialogue that would be seen. So, yeah, man. So, what's up, everybody? My name's Sergio. We're inside of Quasi Studios on Offbeat, the commerce side, and brought to you by All This Entertainment. Today, we're sitting here with Demetrius Jones and Phelan Carter. And Demetrius Jones is the creator of the 251 show that we can see hopefully soon, of course. But there's some things that are going on. We'll get into that a little bit later. But Demetrius, man, thank you for being here. Phelan, and we'll get in with Phelan a little bit too. He is a teen mentor. He works with a lot of different communities around Mobile. And of course, their vision seems to align with the fact that they're shedding a spotlight on Mobile, the things that are happening.
Right.
And so that's why we're here. That's why we like to be able to cultivate a culture of people coming together and just giving each other their flowers and just saying, hey, like, we're glad that we can actually say that we can converse with each other and say, what are you doing? How can we work together to be able to get more, you know, access to Mobile and what it is that this place has to offer. So, Demetrius, tell us a little bit about yourself. Did you start in wanting to get in film?
No, so I actually work in healthcare and education. So like I'm actually a nurse and I teach like how to students to become a nurse basically. And so no inclination about me wanting to be in film, anything like that. It literally started back in college in 2017 when I auditioned for The Real World, and
Okay.
I auditioned for that show. It was like a 75 questionnaire that was like asking me a slew of questions about like more than like, do you like people? What's your favorite food? It was like, how do you cope with conflict? Tell us your deepest, darkest secret. All these things. It took me 4 hours to complete. Ended up finishing it. Long story short, I did that application in November of 2016. February of 2017, I had like after a bunch of interviews, did a psych eval, and then boom comes May of 2017, I made it on the show. And my dad told me that I could not go because I needed to get a degree, and and he was like, you need to get a job and you need to like be a real working person. So I did not go in the real world, and then I just kept in contact with all the people that I have met throughout the way. Ended up becoming really close friends with the people that I've met on some different game shows that I've been on and worked on. And I told her, and I was like, I wanted to make a reality TV show. Like I want to make a TV show about a group of people who look like me, who are my ages, and like we all are doing something in the city. So I wanted to and showcase Mobile too, because Mobile, like I always tell people when I go out of town, it's a hidden gem. Like
Yeah.
people always think of Alabama as like dirt roads. They think of Alabama as being cows and farms, and yeah, we got that up in Central Nell probably, but Mobile is so it's just so diverse. You got great food, you got great people, you got all these different people from everywhere in the world, and it's beautiful in its own way. So I wanted to showcase that in a positive way with a little bit of drama, but in a
Yeah.
good way.
So was it like something that, like a conversation that you had with yourself, that you wanted something like that to happen, or just was it like you saw that if it was done somewhere else, it could be done here? Like,
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like if it can be done, like these shows in LA, these shows in New York, and I granted those are huge major cities, right? We all know LA, Chicago, New York, big cities, Atlanta.
but everybody has their start.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I was like, but these cities have so many different shows already, they can easily be done in Mobile too.
Yeah,
I mean, there was a show called Sweet Life on HBO Max about the same age, a group of people in LA doing the same thing they're doing. So I was like, if they can do that in LA, we can do it in Mobile.
Yeah.
I mean, if not better. I mean,
And showcasing the diversity of like what it's like to have a different storytelling arc, like,
Right.
Because I feel like the type of storytelling in which you captured here is definitely like way different than what reality you catch in like California,
Yes.
because two different cultures, one, and then how people interact with each other, how people view business, and how people like honestly treat each other within that realm of business. Because like I hear all the time, like Los Angeles, California is cutthroat. All these places are cutthroat. So it's like, and for me here, there are people that have mindsets in a similar fashion, but also there are people that really want to genuinely help and generally reach out. And it's not seen as a competition, but a way to fully like invest in the community at large, and like,
right.
yeah. So like, so then, so you can't you can't go to the real world.
Right.
You got to get your degree.
Right.
So how did that relationship with like working in in healthcare and the medical profession like lead to, like, I know you said you kept in contact with other people, but how did that lead into like just like saying, hey, let's do a show?
Well, every time that I've done the interviews for different shows, because I've done like interviews for reality TV shows and helped cast for different reality TV shows, people always say like, "Oh my God, your personality is so great. You're a star. You're amazing, and you're a nurse." Like we love first responders. We love people with personalities, and we love people who have very quirky, different like lifestyles and casting. So if anyone wants to be on TV, that's what we look for. But we always love first responders, so nursing and firefighters and all that. So and like in nursing, you have to be a very vibrant person, talk to people, know how to talk to people, ask questions, be very open. So it just comes in the same. In hindsight, it's really the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, because in TV and film, you have to be open and talking to people and be open to communication, and same thing in nursing. So it really just all aligned that well.
Yeah. So it's like you didn't even have to be too different from who you already were.
Right.
The application kind of seemed seamless.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody needs a set medic, right?
I mean, shoot, like that'd be really interesting to think that if like somebody were to fall on set, be like, we need a medic, and you're like, you just like roll up your sleeves, like I got this
Right.
time. But yeah, cool. That's cool, man. Like, okay, so then from what we were gathering earlier, like you and Phelan kind of met on the 251 set. So how did the initial like looking for your cast actually go? Was it like, did you have an idea? Did people kind of like guide you to who would just make sense, or?
Yeah, so I was saying earlier, the show was supposed to be like me and my group of friends. So it was going to be about me and like, circling around people that I would hang out in general with. So I was asking people that I knew from like high school, middle school or whatever, and just kind of see people that I knew had good personalities and who would look good for TV. And so that's what I went with. And then I just ended up taking myself out of the equation. I took myself out and was like, I think I'll just produce a show. I don't want to be on it anymore. So then I found people that knew each other in some form or fashion. So I started to pick people. So when I already had a core group of 5, which was Takari, she goes by DJ Taco, Denasia, Faith Kirkpatrick, Denasia Cowens, Faith Kirkpatrick, and Octavian Johnson. And then I had another person, Monet, but I based it around them, like people who was good, like who knew them in some form of fashion. But I needed more boys because I wanted a cohesive and a more co-ed
Yeah.
group of people. I wanted men and women. So when I
And
found
that
those,
dynamic of how
right,
people treat each other.
right, and so when I got those 4 people, I was like, well, let me find somebody, some guys who know them. And like I knew Carlos from high school. He's very well known in the city. He does a lot of party promoting. I did not know Phelan. I did not know Brandon, but Faith actually told me both about Phelan and Brandon. And I met them. I thought Phelan did a lot in the city. That's what I was looking for people who had things that's going on in the city, that knows how to articulate their words and know how to talk. Because, I mean, who wants to be on TV stumbling over words?
Feeling, you know how to talk to people. That's fantastic.
And, you know, somebody who is also, like, easy on the eyes, too, because people on TV, you want somebody... of course, you want somebody who, you know, looks good for TV, but also people who are real. So, and he had, you know, a lot of things going on.
So pretty and real.
Pretty
but
and
also
real.
pretty real.
Pretty real,
Yeah.
right? I think that should be the name of my next. But yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Okay, so then Feeling, so let's kind of start where you kind of began with, like, even so much as like what led you into wanting to be a mentor. What process did that kind of look like?
Well, actually, really never thought about being a mentor, honestly. I pretty much started off giving back and serving at a young age. My first business was a clothing line.
Okay.
I was one of the first ones in the city to start a clothing line, but I saw so many people hopping on that clothing line bandwagon. I said, you know what, let me step off and let me do something different. So I transitioned my clothing line into my nonprofit, which is World's Ambition Nonprofit Organization. I've been giving back, you know, blessing families, hundreds, thousands of families for years now. I enjoy doing that. That's just who I am. And so one day I was actually at church, and this lady heard about what I was doing, about all the people I was blessing and things I was giving away. And she said, you know what, you're doing it for free, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. She was like, how about you come work for me or with me? And the place is called Housing First. So I was like, okay, cool. So I started working at Housing First, and I was there for 5 years, you know. And most of the time people get that feeling when it's time for them to move on, you know, the next chapter of their life. And so one day I literally just got a phone call, and it was from this guy. No lie, this guy literally years ago, he was one of the guys who heard about what I was doing in the city, giving back. And he actually drove me and some of the members of my nonprofit around during that time. He drove us around the city so we can choose which community center we wanted to work out of.
Yeah.
And so he called me. That same guy called me years later and was like, hey, man, I've been hearing a lot of great things about you. The mayor of Mobile wants to appoint you to be the team mentor of the city. And I was like, okay. And so can I get more details, you know?
Yeah.
And so I rejected it at first. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of rejected it because I was like, nah, I think I'm cool. And then
was that like something that was kind of like going on in your life at the time, or like you just didn't see yourself as that? Or
no, it wasn't that. I felt like, because a lot of times appointed positions, what I later found out to be, is like they're created positions, and it's like you have to build from scratch. And so the money that I heard, the dollar amount that I heard at the time, I was like, nah, I'm kind of making that here, so I might as well just stay here.
Yeah.
And maybe God will bless me with another opportunity, you know? So I actually called him, literally. I picked up the phone and called him after I thought about it for a few days, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to decline. He was like, you know what? He said, I was asking ready to give you a call and give you a new offer. And so I was like, huh? He was like, yeah. So he gave me another offer, and I was like, yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And so then that's what led me to being a team mentor.
Yeah. Do you feel like it was kind of like in a way like the confirmation of knowing like, hey, if you're gonna stay in, like you said a second ago, why change positions if it's the same pay? But then like knowing that you get to do what you love to be able to like continue your work, but also because that's the dream, get paid for what you do and do what you love.
Yeah,
like,
correct.
And so like, was that like your confirmation?
Yeah, it definitely was confirmation. Like I said, I'm a huge believer in God, and so like I said, I actually told him, I was like, hey, let me think about it, you know, days before that, and I talked to my family about it, and they was like, well, it was about around the same amount, you might as well just stay where you at. And I was like, you know what, true, you know, kept praying on it, and like I said, I literally picked up the phone, I was like, hey, man, I think I'm going to decline. He was like, man, it's crazy because I was calling you to, like I said, to give you more. And I was like, okay, cool. So outside of that, I love being an entrepreneur as well. Like I said, my first business was a clothing line, and it was just so hard for me just to let that go. So I was like, you know what? What's something that Feeling loves to do that's different? You know, and I thought about it. I was like, I can brand myself through fragrances. You know, so now I have a fragrance line as well.
Nice.
Yeah, and not too long ago I released my summer scent, which is called Summer Tree. I'm working on a new one now. So I'm just kind of like all over the place right now. Yeah.
Which is kind of cool because, like, I mean, like, that's like the beginning of, like, you know, we were saying earlier, like New York and Los Angeles and all that stuff. Like, there had to be somebody that was initially just saying, okay, I'm going to do it just because it's not here.
Yeah.
And cause it's kind of like how we view things. It's like we want to talk to the mom and pop shops that don't understand what advertising can do for you, especially like because we're kind of like 10 years behind. But at the same time, if like we keep doing what we're doing, that time shortens, and then so the need for advertising, well, when these franchises will come in, is so much more needed because these mom and pop shops need to stay open. These locals need a way to stay open and stuff. And like we've seen a lot of businesses closing down and stuff, and people not being able to continue their work because the funding might not just be there, or people don't understand the value of what it is that you offer, I offer, we offer. You know, so it's like we're constantly kind of having to teach a lot of people what that looks like in this area.
Yeah.
Right.
And we want to in a more like collaborative way where it's like we're not trying to get one over on you. We're trying to show you like what's happening. And so I guess the biggest challenge sometimes would be also like showing what that means without, you know, because I'm sure y'all have heard a lot of people that have, you know, worked with marketing companies that didn't get what they asked for.
Right.
Correct.
Or
Yeah.
like saying they'll do it, they pay them, and then they disappear. and so it's like, dang, man, that's so weird. Like, why offer something that you can do but you can't really do it? But why not say that you just can't do it? And it's
wasting
like
my time and yours.
yeah, and then,
man.
but then it like poisons and it creates a toxic environment for people that really want to make it happen later on, that can make it happen.
Yeah.
So, but I guess saying that to say again, like I appreciate what y'all are doing because y'all are putting the actual business acumen to the doing and the making it happen rather than just talking about it and, you know, getting with a group of friends saying, we should do something, or like, you know, not just talking about it, just making it happen.
Right.
Yeah.
So when y'all came together, like what part of the journey did y'all meet from the 251? So like what part of the journey were you on when you heard about Demetrius looking for somebody on the 251?
Like I said, I'm a huge believer in God.
Inquisitive and annoying.
So it was like I said, it was kind of weird how me and Meech met. Like I said, I was literally, this was about 2 or 3 years ago. I was just praying like, God, I'm doing so much. You know, I'm ready to be showcased. You know, I'm ready for my businesses to blossom, and you know, so literally I prayed. I was like, God, can you showcase what I'm doing? No lie, you know. God was like, okay, cool, I got you. You asking for it, I got
ready?
you.
You ready?
And that's what he said. He's like, you ready? So literally, that was a Monday. Prayed on it. I'll never forget that Tuesday, I went to church, and I left church, and I had missed phone calls. I had some DMs, and it was from some of our mutual friends, and it was like, hey, this guy, you know, he's starting this reality TV show here in Mobile, and he would love for you to, you know, try out for it. And I was like, what? A TV show in Mobile? I was like, okay, cool. So, and I didn't even see his message. His message was in like the, what's the
request? Probably.
Yeah, the request. Yeah. So I was like,
nobody checks those things.
Yeah, I don't check them. I really don't.
We never get, in casting, we never get checked.
Yeah.
I'm like, check your DMs.
Yeah, 'cause I never check them. And so I checked it, and it was true. It was him. And so I think he told me to call him when I got a chance. And so I did. I called him, and I questioned him.
How long ago after was that? Like from the time that he sent you the message to the time you got it?
I think it was like maybe
a day or 2 days.
Yeah, it was like a day or two.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like a day or two. Like I said, I rarely check my DMs for real, but never check the request.
Never check the request.
Never check the request. Yeah. So like I said, I gave him a call. I was giving him the interview. I was like, hey man, like is this for real? Like what made you start this? And he was like, dude, are you interviewing me right now? I was like, yeah, I'm just trying to see what I'm getting myself into, you know. But
Have you had the experience where that, like, what made you want to question him like that? Like, had that been something you experienced before?
Yeah, but I'm a huge overthinker,
Yeah, gotcha.
and so not only that, I like to know what I'm putting myself into
Yeah.
before I just be like, oh yeah, it got to make sense to me.
Mhm.
You know, it may make sense to you, but until
Make
I
it
make
make sense to me.
make it make sense to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I was like,
Do you want to be on TV or not?
but look, that's easier said than done though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So like I said, we talked. What really made me like bite into it was he was like, okay, so this lady named Jocelyn, she's gonna be interviewing you. So I was like, dog, I gotta get interviewed for real. So that's when I knew it was for real because she's from California. And so me and her did the interview. We bonded as soon as possible. And she was like, I think you'll be a great fit. And then, history, that's history, So, but me and Meech, we got really close after that, for real.
Cool.
Though. Yeah.
Yeah. She texted me during the interview and said, I like him. And I was like, okay, good.
So when it came to like the casting and stuff, did you had the final say so of like saying, okay, I think we should
Yeah,
get that
it was
person?
definitely. I took a lot of heat from Jocelyn because she was been doing this for like 20 years. She's been in casting, met so many slew of people all over the years, and so she knows how to read people and know who will be good for TV. Especially since she worked on like shows that I was mirroring, like the Real Housewives style.
Gotcha.
Bravo. She's worked on Real Housewives of Atlanta. She's worked on Real Housewives of New York.
So she understood.
She
like,
understood what I was
for.
looking for. And so she was like, I think he'll be a good fit. He does a lot in the city. He got a lot going on. We should pick him. And I was like, okay, cool. So I talked to him. Like I said, he can articulate his words. So I was like, it's very good. And then the history was there.
So how do you feel like? What did you feel like the process was as far as like? So you get your actors, you got your locations planned. Like how did that end up developing as far as like getting it from mind to camera?
So it was her because she was like, mind you, I've been working on this for 4 years. So I was like picking up people, dropping people, like shooting stuff and all these things. And it was just really, really hard for me to get, a good grip on what I wanted to do. And so finally I ended up finding a really good frat brother of mine in Atlanta, and I was like, hey, like, I was told to make a sizzle. I didn't know what a sizzle was. I didn't
Yeah.
know any of this. Like I said, I'm not in film. And he was like, okay, I can help you, bro. And then I was like, okay. So then he came down. He explained to me, like, what we got to do and stuff like that. I said, okay, so, like, I'm trying to pitch this to networks. So I need to, like, showcase them, each of them individually about what they got going on and how their group dynamic is.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think the downfall was that was really a lot of their first times meeting in that sizzle. However, but like meeting in the sense of like all together. They've met in passing and like hung out individually, but like as a collective group, friend group, it was the first time. So I think that was like, the hard part when they first met in their first two scenes. However, we still got great content.
Yeah.
Like we still got good content. We still got good sound bites, all the things that we needed to do to really like get this out there to the networks and to get intrigued. So
Which is cool,
Right.
Because I mean, like obviously, like even though like you're saying that it was not as put together as you would have wanted to be,
Right.
But it still worked out because of the editing, of how you saw the story and how even just a couple sound bites they interacted with each other. Like
Right.
all you're really doing is trying to pull them in at that point.
Right.
You're just trying to do what what are those hooks and
yes,
stuff?
yes.
You're
That's
just
all
trying to
I
grab
just
them.
need
Yeah.
the elevator pitch.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was great.
Cool. So how did that? How do you feel like from that just getting everything worked together as far as the sizzle and stuff? Like, did you have to table it for a little bit? Like,
So when I made the sizzle, I was, my friend, she was shipping it to different people, networks and stuff like that, and it just wasn't landing. Like she was like, I'm sorry, it's not getting out there or whatever. So then finally, this production company in Atlanta actually reached out to me first because I sent it to them, and she was like, I like it, but I didn't really like the terms that they had for me to sign to want to work with them. So I just kind of like bypassed on that one. And so that's when I started shooting the show. I was like, I ended up finding this independent network, Royal K, and he has streaming platforms on Amazon Prime, Tubi, like different places. So I was like, this would be really cool. Like, this is essentially what I wanted to do, and so we just kind of went from there. And we kept a good rapport with him. We still talk to this day. And then at the end of filming, and then the end of like right before we did our confessionals, I got a call from this lady in Hollywood, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, your sizzle, your pilot was sent to me through email. I want to say I really, really like it, and I want to be able to put this on a bigger platform for you." And I was like, "That's exactly what I wanted. Like, I wanted. It's not even about me anymore. It's about like Mobile. It's about them. Like, I want his fragrance line to be like Nike. I want his, I want Carlos's motion line to be big as whatever it can be. Like I want people to know like these are people who really work hard to get their own brand, and I want to catapult."
Yeah.
So,
and which is cool, which
Right.
again is really cool because I mean, like regardless of the fact that you're showing yourself on all of it and stuff, you will be shown because it's it's gonna have your name on it.
Mhm.
But especially if you make it more about the people that it's about, then it gives people more of an inclusive understanding of like what the area has to offer, and like
Mhm.
that familiarity allows people to want to be a part of what's happening. And 35% of people that watch a broadcast have some way that they interact with the show. Like either they go there to tour, they want to visit the city, they buy the products of whatever they see on that show or something like that.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of ways in which it seems like you're creating accessibility to the city, which is very cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, well, I'm here with Demetrius Jones and Phelan Carter, and Demetrius is the creator and director of the 251 TV show, and we're gonna get into that a little bit. The way that you kind of like ended that, like you got a call from this person that really liked the Sizzle, I was like, that sounds like. That sounds like the cliffhanger to like go to break. So we'll be right back after these messages, and we appreciate you hanging out on the Patreon. So remember, share, like it. I mean, if you want to, I'm not telling you have to like it, but that at the same time, we get more accessibility to a lot of the people that we work with, and of course with Demetrius and Phelan with the different avenues and the different people that you're working with. We want to just shine a light, man.
Yeah.
So we'll be right back, and we'll be talking more about it. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you, man.
I kind of lost it in that last 10 seconds. As soon as you showed me 30, You know how it's like sometimes like you feel like
It's weighing you
like
down.
either like weighing down, but also like you have a room in your house where you just got to clear it out,
Yeah.
stuff out and stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. Like my girlfriend said yesterday, it was like the equivalent of like a girl like dyeing her hair.
Yeah,
That was me cutting off my
yeah,
beard.
yeah.
And I was like, well, shoot, maybe I want to dye my hair now. It's crazy though, isn't it? That's yeah. And I'm actually considering cutting this mop off, so then you can see a dog on the ground. So. But I like it when my hair gets long just because I like putting it up.
Yeah, I can't see you with short hair.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. There you go. That's what it looks like.
Keep it long.
It's okay. I know how pretty I am. I see myself in the mirror every single day, and I'm like, dang, how'd you get to where you got to? And it's like the grace of God. We good? Okay. I knew it, and I just didn't do it. Just saw everybody standing there awkwardly. All right. Well, appreciate y'all hanging out with us here on the Patreon as well as everywhere else. As soon as we get there, we're live inside of Quasi Studios on Offbeat, brought to you by All This Entertainment, and just wanted to thank, of course, Carson, Eric, Austin, Chris, and Jimbo, and of course Corinne for the staging of everything as well up here. And well, that's the crew. So now we're back, and we're interviewing and we're talking to Demetrius Jones, who is the creator and director of the 251 show, which you'll find out about in a little bit. We've been talking a little bit about how Phelan and Demetrius kind of got together, what that looked like, the process of everything like that. So, and I don't want to say everything. I keep saying that people say you shouldn't say that, like, and stuff and everything like that when you're interviewing people, but I do it so much.
casual. I mean, that's
yeah.
That's like
we know what you're talking about.
So
Yeah, and like,
so we're gonna try to do our best. I'm gonna try to do my best as I see the light switching back and forth between the cameras to actually not say and stuff like that as much as possible. So what are things like and stuff like that? I'm just kidding. So Demetrius, so before we left, we were talking about how you had just gotten a phone call and how somebody in Los Angeles had got an email about the sizzle reel and the pilot episode and stuff. So that phone call happened. Let's kind of go from there.
So yeah, we finished filming the season, and then we was getting ready to do our confessionals, and I got a call from this lady in Hollywood, and she was like, I got your sizzle and I got your pilot. I want to say that I loved it. It's so different. I don't know anything about Mobile. Oh my gosh, this Mobile is like, I didn't know it was the birth of Mardi Gras. These characters are great. Like, I love how you shot this. This is amazing. Like, I want to know everything. And I spewed everything about all these people that I've known for the past few months. I was like, this is the feelings getting married. I was just talking. I was like, Danae just got a baby. Like, whatever. I was just saying. She was like, I love it. And she was like, I want to put this on a bigger network. I want to put this on on a bigger audience for you. And so I was like, I told her, like, I'm already in this partnership with Royal K. Like, I've did different things in the city. And she was like, okay, I would love to take this. She said, I can see this on a bigger platform. And that's what I genuinely wanted to. And she was like, she said, I want to help you get to that position. So I talked to the people that I've already worked with. I kind of let them know, like, hey, we're going to take a little bit of a pivot to see what we can do. I have a good feeling for this. Like, I think it really does need to have its own good justice for it to be on somewhere bigger. Mm-hmm. So that's what we did. And nice. I think that it was the best option because, like I said earlier, I want the best for Mobile and the cast and the crew. Like, I know it's me, my name's gonna be on there, but I took myself out of the equation. Like, I'm thinking for them.
Yeah, the
like,
longevity and having patience and how many more people can access with that patience. Gotcha. Okay. So then. So we'll come back to that in a little bit now too, but let's talk about what the filming process kind of looked like. Because so I met you on the first day of filming, a lot of the cast and everything. And Demetrius, we had talked before that. Right. I guess we were executive producers on one of the parts of things, and I wanted to kind of talk to you about, like, what did that first day feel like versus other days as you began to see what the process looked like.
So the very first day we started filming, we started filming in December, and then we did a couple little hit or miss scenes, like just building the story scenes of getting to know we're like Carlos. We did a scene with Faith and Phelan and Brandon. They met up at his place with his Christmas event that he throws.
Yeah.
And so it was just kind of building the story of each person's personal storyline and the group dynamic. So, of course, I had some characters being a little bit messy and shady. And I had some people, start talking about a little bit of drama. And Carlos talking about his personal strife that he's going through in his personal life. So then we finally got to the group event, which he threw the first group event for the cast, which was the Christmas event in the YMCA. And it was just a really good, community service, to have everybody there to help with the community, pass out toys, food drive, all the things. It was a very good, positive, good opener.
Yeah.
And then they all have their sit down and chaos erupts.
Yeah.
But it was a good opening and it was a good day because it was very positive, but yet it had a good story, fun, drama. It was perfect for the first start. And so as time went on, it was a lot of hard days because, trying to balance, balance being going to work as a nurse, trying to save money, spend money, get stuff out there, all the different things. Right. It was just really a lot. And then their schedules, oh my gosh, you got people who got a child, got to figure out childcare, all these things. So I was trying to be as cooperative and considerate as I could for everybody because it's not just
not just you.
It's not just me and it's not just the crew. It's I need to have a group event. I need everybody there, so I need to pick a day that everybody's there. I need to pick a day that the venue will let us all be there. Will it accommodate everybody?
Yeah.
So a lot of days were stressful, but the beginning was a very strong start. And the end was, through it all, it ended very well, too.
Yeah, and you already you had an idea of what you wanted it to look like, so it wasn't as difficult versus saying, oh, I don't really know how this is going to play into this.
Right.
So because you had said you planned it for 4 years.
Right. So I knew exactly what I was looking for, but when it comes to the story, to be honest, the group story, they gave me the material. I didn't have an idea of I want this person to do that. Whatever they did in the scene, I just listened and I just kept going from there. Whatever you give me, I'm going to give it to you. If you don't like this person and you want to keep not liking this person, that's fine. We're going to talk about it every single time y'all get together. But if you want to make amends and you want to be okay, because the show is really about conflict and resolution.
Yeah.
Every friend group has discourse and strife, so you're going to have a problem. You're not going to me, say I'm on the show, Phelan gets mad at me about something, but if Phelan chooses to continue to be mad about it, then we're going to continue to be mad about it on the show. But if he chooses to be okay, I want to make amends, okay, then we make amends, So it's really whatever the characters give me,
Yeah, and which is interesting, too, because, that sounds like that y'all kind of have to be accepting of knowing that your lives are going to be a part of the show.
Right. And that's what I like about the show. It's really who you are.
Yeah.
And what you do. And
so y'all feel like y'all are pretty genuine to yourselves and as
most
characters.
Yeah.
Some more than others.
Yeah. Because as you can see, I'm real chill, laid back, and that's kind of how I am on the show. And Meech kind of pulled some teeth. Was like, hey man, so I kind of started opening it up more, to a certain extent. But I'm just playing. But I just kind of started opening it up. But yeah, so it's we are really ourselves. We're not trying to be anybody else. And I had told him that too. I was like, look, man, I just want to be me.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. I want him to be himself. Of course, I want him to be a little bit more spicy.
Spicy.
Crisp it up.
Stop
sitting in the background, soaking up all the drama. I need you to get in there and be a little bit, have something to say. But he did very well in his confessionals because he talked a lot of shit.
The way that y'all are talking about it, I just imagine you're standing in the background, just listening to everybody, just kind of
He's literally
because
I'm just drinking your drink.
Because I'm the positive problem solver for real.
Yeah.
Well, try to be.
Try
to be. Because some people was just no, we still gonna do what we want to do. But I'm pretty much that conflict resolution person. Try to give advice.
He's the good balance. We need an equilibrium on the show. Everybody can't be chaotic.
Yeah. So the what was it? The not lawful neutral or the
right. Right.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah.
But I had my moments where I did voice my opinion.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I don't like for things to just explode in my face like that with me just sitting right there. So I'm nah. That's
so
not
do you
cool.
do you feel like the time on the show has kind of allowed you to embrace that part of yourself a little bit more?
I've always been that though.
Okay.
I've always been that. It's just the fact knowing that I'm on TV.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? But I've always been that type of person, always trying to like stay positive, give good advice, just always trying to solve problems and things like that. I've always trying to be that cape, the guy with the cape.
I understand.
You know
I
what I'm
got a
saying?
hero's complex too.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Just sometimes it gets the better of us, man. I get it. I feel you, man.
Yeah. But like you said, some people, like the saying say, you could take the horse to the water, but you can't make them drink it.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like kind of a little of that on the show. You know?
Yeah.
Me giving advice, some people take it, some people don't.
Which
You know?
is good drama because you
Yeah,
can't
right,
always
right.
have a plot thicken
Yeah.
whenever it's like, well, this person's told me some good information, so you know what, I'm gonna do it anyways.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah,
and
right.
it's just that's a cool thing. I'm excited to see the first episode because Austin, he was one of the sound guys on it for a little bit.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And we're excited to be able to see some, like what it looked like because seeing it on set versus seeing it through the lens
Yeah, no,
is like
it's
so different. And
very
like I
different.
watch the stories and stuff and I'm like, man, I love it just knowing that there's like 20 people behind like this one person that's talking and just like everything and how like chaotic it looks, but then just to make it look so pretty. Like
Yeah, no, I mean, every episode will be great because we have such a really good story, and it always amazes me because, like I said, I really did not have a story for them. They gave me the stuff, and it's just so funny how they really honestly was themselves, and they gave me a great story.
yeah.
And I can honestly say, like, knowing everybody really, they're themselves.
Yeah.
I can't name a person that's on the show that's like trying to be somebody that they're not, or doing something out of the ordinary.
We can put our hands in front of the microphone and talk as much as you want, man. I get you. I feel you.
He's just trying to be so positive. I just can't wait till his confessional comes out.
Oh my God.
So that's when we're gonna really find out what's going on. But no,
I'm sitting here thinking like, what did I say?
but I feel you. It's really cool to like kind of like because sometimes, and I don't know if you did this, if I do this in myself, I'm crazy. But have you ever like kind of given yourself an interview like in the mirror and nobody's around, nobody's listening to this crap, but you're like interviewing yourself. You're like, yeah, man, let me tell you about why I did this and why I do this.
I do talk to myself.
Okay, cool. So I'm just wondering because like I always have that thing where it's like man, I feel like I know nobody's watching, but it feels like somebody is. So I'm gonna talk about me.
Yeah, no, I
like-
do talk about myself
Yeah.
alone at home, which is also pretty weird. But but no, like I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Now I don't do like interviews, but I talk my day out. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this is what I'm gonna do. Things like that.
Yeah, I just interview myself mainly just to help me understand myself. It's like I'm talking to myself in a third person and be like, hey, this is what you're doing and this is what you shouldn't do.
Okay, you know what's
Yeah.
weird? I talk to myself in third person to other people. I'll be like, well, Demetrius did not say that.
Yeah.
People were like, you're a psycho.
Hey, I mean, there's levels of psychotic, so I guess as long as we're not the top tier, I think we're okay. I
Right.
don't know what that looks like.
Right, I'm not Ted Bundy or Jeffrey Dahmer.
That's good because
This dude.
well, one had just a very unhealthy diet, and
Yeah,
one
yeah.
just had a very bad choice.
Yeah.
They all made bad choices.
Right.
But we make bad choices. I think that's why God says sins are all the same. It all looks the same to Him because sin is sin. So
Right,
it's like,
right.
So like even if we just talk shit about somebody versus like eating someone, it's like, dang man, you're putting me with those guys. That
Right,
sucks.
right,
It's
right.
like, dang. We were talking about that earlier. It's like you call it cannibalism. I call it an interesting diet. So it's like,
I
words
would
are
not.
crazy.
I would not, but
Hey.
I digress.
I mean,
Was I
but
that
that was if I was a cannibal. Obviously,
Okay.
we're not going to talk about that. But so all right, so I'm really excited to know that that the 251 show is looking to be on a bigger platform.
Yes.
And so I mean, like feeling what does that feel like for you? Like
Honestly,
Yeah, feeling. I want to know, what did that feel like you when I told you that we're gonna go with a bigger production?
okay, look, so Meech, he being a little shady. But look, check this out. So honestly, when Meech told me, because I was just kind of eager for it to showcase,
Yeah.
to air. And so a lot of us was like, man, we ready to see ourselves on TV. But then when Meech broke it down, it's like, hey, I really want you all to be on a bigger platform. I really want to showcase you all in the best way. And I was like, okay, cool. And I told him, I was like, Meech, I'm behind you 100%. I support you 100%. you've been investing in this. This is your baby. This is your dream. I'm behind you. You know, of course, myself and everybody else was ready. You know, but when we heard that we had the opportunity to be on a bigger platform, it was like, why not? You know, and it's always good to be patient. The best things happen when you're patient. You know, so I knew from the get-go, I've been telling Meech, excuse me, for a very long time, that the 251 is going to be huge. I told him, he was like, "Feeling, shut up, you're just talking." Like, no, I'm for real, Meech. Like, what you're doing is very creative. You know, like I said, I've never heard of a TV show here in Mobile, you know? And so I was like, I really think that this is going to be huge, not only for us as individuals and Meech, but for the city of Mobile, to showcase what we do in Mobile, the culture, and just everything about it, you know, everything about the show. So I was excited. Overall, when he said a bigger platform or possibility of being on a bigger platform, I was very excited. So yeah.
Okay. So did you feel pretty supported by in general of like the cast and stuff, or did it like, was there a little bit of pushback and stuff and you're like, oh god, this is how it's gonna be?
I would say, to answer the question, it was very supportive.
Yeah.
Everybody did understand, like, you know, okay, this, because everybody will always say, it's your decision. You know, like, this is what you want to do or whatever. And I was like, well, I want to include you guys because, you know, you've been part of it. Like, you guys helped me. I wouldn't have no show without y'all.
Yeah.
You know, so I was like, what do you guys want to do? And they was like, well, Meech, is really up to you. So, I mean, like I said, I wanted the best for them in the city. So I was like, if we have the opportunity, and I think it's great that people in Hollywood and LA saw us, you know, what we made. And
in
like,
Mobile.
right.
Yeah.
You know, you think about that and like, I want to put this on. Like, I see what you're doing. I like it. I can see it go further.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's not, like, I don't want to have the what if we did not do it, you know?
Yeah. No, and that makes complete sense because, again, like, having done it initially in the first place is a big deal from saying, like, rather than saying, like, what if we could have done that? Like, whereas even though, I mean, you've hit obstacles and, you know, you still had a job, you still had to, you know, scheduling and stuff. Like, we get it. Scheduling is difficult, you know? But at the same time, like, having the actualization of that vision that just happens and then, like, being able to have a cohesive, like, team to work with where it's like, you feel like they want to be included because, and you want to include them because it ends up, you know, it's getting bigger. Something's happening.
Right.
And
it's not like, you know, because if I would have just made the decision without them and then tell them that's wrong, you know, because they're like, oh, well, he didn't even ask me. Like, you know, because at the end of the day, we work together.
Yeah.
You know.
It's the consideration.
Right.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say Meech has been very considerate this whole process.
Yeah.
You know, he's been asking all of us, like, what you think, you know, on set, you know, he just always makes sure that we good.
Yeah.
You know?
And they're always saying in the background, I wonder what Meechie thinks about the scene. And I'm like, oh, that's great.
Yeah. So as far as, like, going forward, like, I mean, what is the future with the show? Like, I mean, say everything works out well, you have the bigger program, the bigger network and stuff. Are you wanting it to be like all the similar people, like season 2, the same people following along, or like are you want it to grow for other things?
So I ideally, what I really do hope for, like, I am a Bravo boy. So what that means is that I watch a lot of Bravo network shows. So I love how they storytell with, like, because a person's story is not done in the first season. You just getting to know that person. So, like, I want the same people to come back each season and, you know, to basically showcase, like, what they do differently. Like, you know, is it okay if I say?
Yeah.
Okay. He is getting engaged and, you know, he's gotten engaged. He is getting ready to have a wedding. You know, I want to see that. I want to show that. He probably will have a baby soon. I want to show that, you know, like,
life.
Yeah. I want to see that, you know, and if he chooses to not want to come back, then that's his choice. Then we can move forward with somebody else, you know. But I will add different people here and there. But ideally, it's the same people that will grow, and because, you know, the story grows with them.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have, like, an idea of how, like, say you were able to get all the amount of work and, you know, seasons as you want to? Like, how do you see it, like, being like a very long type show, or like kind of just capturing these specific moments and then ending it?
I would definitely love for a long show. Even I would love to be a franchise. Like I would
Yeah.
love to like venture out
Spin
to
off
like
of it and stuff.
I would love to go to Pensacola. I
Yeah.
would love to go to Mississippi and have like cruising the coast.
Mhm.
Like I would love to have that umbrella of whatever, and I think that would be really dope.
Yeah.
But I mean, it just takes time. It takes finding the people.
Mhm.
So I just kind of want to if that were to ever happen, I want to be able to go into it knowing what I know now.
And the whole coast is going to be known as the 251 show.
Right.
It's like, what is the 251? Who is the Gulf Coast? What are they? Where are they coming from? Yeah, I feel you. That's cool. That's very cool. And that's really nice that at least you've allowed yourself to accept the vision in seeing that. Because I mean, like, even though you knowing how difficult it can be, you also know how rewarding it can feel. And you also know like the people that you're impacting. It's like like sometimes you just got to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Because he's been not only just with the show, but like I can speak for myself that he's been very supportive, like outside the show. And what I mean by that is like he's been helping me with my fragrance line.
Mm-hmm.
We have talks about personal life, both of our personal lives actually, and just he's been supportive and been there. We've been engaging, and he's like he is my brother. So yeah. So it's just not about the 251. It's about our relationship yeah. You think so funny. but he has been there though, for real.
Yeah.
And it's been genuine. I've never got that vibe like
You're bad at accepting compliments, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I love
You're
it.
not bad- you love the
Charming.
compliments?
Oh my
Right,
goodness.
charming.
Yeah.
Oh, stop. Stop it.
Yeah. But he's been helpful though, and he's actually helped like me and Faith, even though we've been close, we were close. Now like we in business together.
Yeah.
Like she's a part of the fragrance line, and we're doing some great things together with that. And so and that was Meech help.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it's just not about the 251. It's just about everything that we're doing as a collective. Yeah.
So cultivation and collaboration, my friends.
Most definitely.
That's what the moral of the story
Yeah.
is.
Teamwork makes
Yeah,
the dream
and
work.
then
Yeah.
I mean, and Meech keeps saying it too. It's like at some point, it's no longer about the one; it's about the
Right.
whole of the sum.
Right.
Yeah.
And and that's a great thing to be able to take away from the episode too. I mean, obviously, like just believing that what you think can really happen if you
It
just
can.
put the work in.
Into it.
Faith without works is dead. So you
This
got to
is
do the
true.
work to make
Yep.
sure that what you have faith in doesn't die.
Yep.
So definitely, man, I
You
feel
speak
that.
a lot about religion. I did not know that you was very religious or spiritual.
I did not know that either. Thank you for being observant about
Right.
that.
I'm very observant. I know that. God is my shepherd, and all y'all look like sheep.
Yeah,
Oh
well,
my goodness. That is so stupid.
well, I don't know where to go from that. I am a sheep. I would like to be a goat, please. I'll be cool with being a goat because I feel like only female goats, I guess, give milk, so I can't say I want to give milk. I just want to be a goat with big horns that ends up ramming other people with big horns.
Then you become a ram.
I guess now I'm gonna go to a ram, and then I'm gonna evolve something else. You
Right.
know? I'm gonna
Well,
and then I magically turn into a Mexican. Here I am, arriba. So we appreciate you hanging out with us. I'm with Demetrius Jones and Phelan Carter, and Demetrius is, of course, the creator and director of the 251 show, which you will be finding out very soon, and as soon as either this episode comes out, or even sooner. So that's the
true.
hope. So, but y'all keep in contact with the 251 show on Instagram and on Facebook, and check out what's going on. You can get to know the cast. You can get to know some of the behind the scenes stuff with, of course, with different companies that Little Lighthouse Production, Noah Maddox, and a couple other people that had involvement in the show as well as the actors. So it's not just about the cast, but it's also about everybody and the collectiveness of it, making it happen. Like genuinely what Demetrius was talking about. Like, so it's not just him talking about it, you can see it visually. So it's going to be really cool, and it's a way to be able to engage in the community and the city of film culture, but also acting culture, and of course what Mobile has to offer, not just Mardi Gras, because
Right.
we're a little bit more sophisticated than just Mardi
Mardi
Gras.
Gras,
We can party on Cinco de Mayo too.
Right.
Like
yeah,
there could be
right.
2 nights.
Right.
I mean, turn it to Cinco de Wico, like make it a week.
We
so
even have we have more than Art Walk too. I mean, come
that
on.
is true. Yeah, of course. And it's so crazy that like you know, again, the thing we always like to point out, which is sometimes unnerving, but like finding out what happens after it happens.
Mhm.
And that seems like sometimes a big thing in Mobile. And we want to make sure that we know what's happening before it happens so we can support, we can be a part, we can
Yeah.
hang out and just, I mean, just like, at least if we're not going to go, share it, you know,
Right.
say, I'm interested, but I'm also going to sit on my couch and watch Die Hard. you know,
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah.
Totally agree.
So, but check out Feeling. Is there anywhere like people can specifically check out where they can find you as far as your organizations and everything?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram as at Savalis, SAVALIS 96.
He's having an event on the 11th.
Oh yeah. So I can
Well,
see
this
it.
probably won't be out before then, but you get that again. You find out about the event after it happens.
Yeah.
So hey,
Yeah, but I'm actually advertising the event on Instagram, and also you can find me on Facebook at Feeling Carter. So yeah.
cool,
So,
man.
yeah.
Well, I appreciate you. Thank y'all very much for being here,
Thank you for having us.
And I very much enjoyed the conversation. Again, man, thank you again for making it happen and doing your thing.
Thank you for
And
your
of
help.
course, you're doing your thing, Keelan,
Yeah, I'm
because
trying
you
to,
know.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
keep mentoring, Demetrius. Keep promoting, keep directing, keep creating.
Thank you.
So hey guys, I'm Sergio inside of Quasi Studios on Offbeat, brought to you by All This Entertainment. Let me give the thanks to the camera crew, Austin and Carson. Of course, Chris is the tech direct. He's switching cams and double checking, make sure that I didn't mess up any of the audio. And then of course we got Eric back there taking the BTS, and we got Jimbo back there too, making sure that the lights don't screw up on us because there's a little finicky things that's going to be fixed this week. But we will be back next time. Either it's going to be myself or Jay. We don't know. But appreciate y'all hanging out with us, and subscribe, like the content on Patreon, YouTube, follow us on Instagram and all the socials, and we will be here the next time we see you. Oh, look at that. Yeah, perfect timing.
That's good.
I said...